Hi, I'm Fox1989. This is my first time making a video like this, but I just want to go over my deck. It's a mixed deck. It's a deck of cards I think are cool, powerful, no real theme to it at all, but it's actually a good deck. It's 40 cards. It's got 22 monsters, 11 spells, and 7 traps, I think. And it's got synchro ability. It's got a lot of special summon, token summons, all sorts of stuff like that. It's quite fluent. It doesn't have very much draw power though. So if you got any ideas, how to increase the draw power, just leave them in a comment in the comment box down there. Now, I don't have every card in the world. I don't have any solemns. I don't have half the staples out there right now. If I don't have a card and you think I should, give it to me free. Hey, no, I'm just joking. I can't get it. If I did have it, I would use it. So I'm making do with what I have. So, don't say any comments about, hey, why don't you have this card? It rocks. It's because I don't have that card. That's why. Okay, so monsters. I have Hand of Nephthys. I can call priority on its effect, and as long as I have a monster to sacrifice, I can bring out the Phoenix. Phoenix is my all-time favorite card. So I put it in this deck. And it's quite useful as well. DD Warrior Lady. She's good for getting rid of threats. Tricky, he's extremely versatile. I can use him with Hand of Nephthys, Synchro Summons, whatever. Spirit Reaper, he's good for sacrificing. Not sacrificing, he's good for defending against attacks. He's good for depleting your opponent's hand. He's hard to kill. Xarian Universe, he's got beautiful stats. 1800 attack, 1900 defense, and by cutting his attack by 400 till the end of the turn, he gains piercing. It's quite useful. Cyber Dragon, he's good for, once again, Hand of Nephthys, good for sacrificing, good for just, coming out of the blue and kicking your opponent's butt. Snipe Hunter, I use him to counter Stardust. He can counter Stardust, he's one of the few cards that can. Dark Resonator, he can survive one hit per turn, so he's a good first turn set. Obelisk the Tormentor, no, I'm not cheap, I just like him. He's quite powerful. His summoning cannot be countered. He cannot be targeted by spells or traps, and by removing sacrificing 2 monsters on the field, he blows up the field, but he can't attack that turn. Well, it blows up the monsters, my opponent's monsters. He's a Regeki. But 4,000 points, that's a hell of a lot to contend with, so he's a good card. Rose, Warrior of Revenge. She's a level 4 tuner. Whenever she does damage, she does an additional 300 more. It's actually quite useful. Level 4 tuner, 1600 attack. Chiron the Mage, by discarding 1 spell or trap card, I can destroy 1 back row card, which is really useful for getting rid of cards I don't really need or use at the moment, and destroying a pesky backfield. Marshmallow inflicts 1,000 damage when his attack face down, not to mention he can't be killed in battle, so he can sit there and wait till you get a tuner and tune him up. Dandelion is extremely versatile. I can discard it from my hand for Tricky, and that automatically gives me the 2 tokens. So as long as I can protect him for 1 turn, I can sacrifice him for Obelisk. Also, he can hold off 3 attacks on his own, himself plus his 2 tokens. He's good for synchroing, tributing, whatever. Blackwing Gale the Whirlwind. Level 3 tuner. He can permanently reduce the attack of 1 attack and defense and 1 monster in the field by half every turn. Not to mention he's a level 3 tuner, so he's good for pulling. He also gives me access to Blackwing Armor Master. That's a good thing. Neospatian Grand Mole. I can use him to eliminate the threat of a Raikou or something, because the monster he returns happens before it gets flipped up. And he's also good for getting rid of synchro monsters or just high-powered monsters that are really going to annoy you. X-Saber Airbellum, sorry. He's good for, he's pretty much the best level 3 synchro in the game. He destroys your opponent's hand. He's level 3, 1600. Easy to get out. Jinzo. He's good for negating traps that are going to, screw you over. He can stop Bottomlesses, Mirror Force, Deep Prison, any trap under the sun. The only thing he can't really stop is a Solemn. He can stop it if it's already on the field and your opponent doesn't Solemn Jinzo itself. Then he can't use it till Jinzo's gone. Mist Valley Soldier, probably the best level 4 tuner in the game. 1700 attack, 4-star. Tuner, and whenever he fails to destroy the monster he's battling with, that monster is returned to the owner's hand, even if Mist Valley Soldier himself dies. Breaker of the Magical Warrior. He's 1900 when he's first summoned because of the counter. I can remove the counter, destroy any spell or trap card on the field, so he's good for removing a pesky backfield. Quick Draw Synchron. By discarding any card or any monster from my hand, I can special summon him. I can use him for the synchro summon of any Synchron monster, like Nitro Warrior or something like that. and I can use them in conjunction with Quillbolt Hedgehog to automatically get Nitro Warrior out. 2 enemy controllers, because I run Jinzo, and they're not traps, and they've got a lot of other uses too. Switching a monster to attack mode so I can attack it, such as a Marshmallow, or sacrificing a token, take control of opponent's monster, negate an attack, or to use it for synchroing, whatever. Heavy Storm, it's a staple. Mystical Space, it's a staple. Fissure and Smashing, they're pretty much staples. They get rid of monsters that are going to be pisky, and even the ones that cannot be targeted because they don't target. Book of Moon, very versatile card. Lightning Vortex, gets rid of all my opponent's face-ups. United We Stand. Most people don't use equip cards nowadays, but this is one of the best. Increases the equip monster's attack 800 for every card in every face-up monster on my side of the field. So if I have 5 face-up monsters, that's 8,000 or 4,000 extra attack. Use that in conjunction with my Xarian Universe. He's 5,800. I can come down to 54 and give him piercing. It's quite good. Shield Crush destroys one defense position monster on the field. It does target, but it's good for getting rid of face downs like Regos before they can activate. Scapegoat, good for synchroing, good for Hand of Neptus, good for defending, good for almost everything except tribute summons. Scrap Iron Scarecrow, it's good for negating 1 attack per turn, so it's a good continuous defense. 2 Sakuretsu Armors. I don't have D prisons or else I'd use them. Mirror Force, it's a staple. Zone of the Spirit, it works like a Reflect Bounder whenever it gets destroyed in battle. Whatever destroyed in battle, that much damage is inflicted to your opponent, so if it's destroyed by a Blue Eyes, you would take 3,000. It's got good stats too, 1,800 attack when it's in attack mode, and, when it's in attack mode. Also, I can just use it for Tribute Summons, because it doesn't negate my normal summon for the turn. I can use it for Synchro Summon, I can use it for Hand of Neptus, it's quite versatile. And of course, 2 Bottomless Trap Holes. Once again, these are pretty much staple. They can stop all sorts of good monsters. For Synchros, I have Mistworm, level 9. Needs 3 monsters, but I can turn up to 3 cards in my opponent's side of the field to their hand. Stardust Dragon, almost a staple Synchro now. Colossal Fighter, same thing. Thought Ruler Archfiend. It's good for replenishing my own life points. It can protect its own ass from any spells or traps in the field that would target it. Not to mention it's got a pretty good attack. Red Dragon Archfiend. I don't use him as much because he's got a couple of bad drawbacks, but he's got his uses, such as defeating scapegoats. Blackwing Armor Master. Indestructible by battle. I take no damage from any battles involving him. Not to mention if he attacks something strong and survives, I place a wedge counter on it. Next turn, remove that wedge counter and drop its attack to 0. Power Tool Dragon. It's more of in there as a beat stick because I don't have enough equip cards to use its effect. Nitro Warrior. It's got a very powerful effect. By if I activate a spell, it goes up to 3,800 for 1 attack. Also, if it destroys defense position monster, it switches another defense position monster to attack and allows me to attack that monster too. Ancient Fairy Dragon. Great defense, good effects. Flameville Urquizus, it has piercing, and every time it does damage, it gets even stronger by 300, so it's got a useful card. It is a useful card, sorry. Brionac, by discarding any amount of cards from my hand, I can return the same amount of cards from the field to the owner's hand. It's good for getting rid of annoying cards on my opponent's side of the field. It's also easy to summon. Iron Chain Dragon, anytime it does damage, it mills the top 3 cards in my opponent's deck. It's also got a good attack for 25. Sea Dragon Lord Gishlunod, and it's only in there till I get a Catastor, because it's hard to use, but it's got an okay effect. Anytime a level 3 or lower is sent to the graveyard, it automatically goes up to 3,000. And Stygian Security. When this card destroys a monster by battle, it goes up by 800, is allowed to battle again. It does need a Fiend-type tuner, though, such as Dark Resonator. So that's my deck. Leave comments down below, and go easy on my deck, guys. It's first time, and it's actually a good deck. Alright, thanks so much for listening, and maybe I'll see you again sometime.